Okay, this needs to be said because even though this has been talked about for decades, decades, ever since I've been, it's probably even before I've been born, but it has to be said, and it's one of those beating a dead horse of things. So, I didn't watch the whole Angel Reese podcast with Shaq, and people was talking about Shaq being a creep, and I guess it was referring to like how WNBA should lower rims, and then he said something. Imagine you dunking in the same low shorts with Wild Out. Okay, and then I guess they called him a creep for that. So I want people to understand this because men get called for creeps, but we just like call out shit that women do. Like the one thing I feel like the biggest hypocrisy is women calling men creeps, but then dressing the same way to but dressing sexy. Like adult sex workers do this all the fucking time, especially when they stop doing sex work and want to quote unquote decenter men, and then they point out how men are creeps because they say a bunch of fucking sexual foul things. Um, sex workers, they're the epitome of doing this. It's just like, oh, men look at me as a sexual object, but you present yourself as a sexual object. Like you don't do you understand it? Like your whole job is to be a sexual object, and this is why when it comes to sex workers, like people like sex workers get the backlash they do because they're a bunch of hypocrites. You get mad when men look at you as a sexual object, but your whole job is to present yourself as a sexual object. Like it's on your Twitter, your DMs. It's like, what would you do with me? You're sitting there butt naked with your titties out and your pussy open. And you talk about, if I was to do this, what would you do to me? You're literally presenting yourself as a fucking hoe or a sexual object. It's just like, the whole I'm stuck in the laundromat. It's like, oh stepbrother, would you help me? It's like that's your whole fucking job. And like regular women, you do this too. You know, especially if you will have a body, especially when you have a body. It's just like at one point I do get it, cause if you built like a Coke bottle, niggas will see that first. I do understand that. At some point, I do understand that. Like people don't get to know you personally; they just know you as a sexual object. Um, especially, but if you are especially if you have jobs like models or um, celebrities or some shit like that, you're more or less looked at by your beauty than more or less by your talent. In the entertainer, I get that. Even strippers, I do get that. But at the same time, it's like that is your profession. Like, especially if some of y'all, like most of y'all push this shit. Some of y'all know that y'all are sexual item, like sexual objects, and then like y'all will push the shit and then get mad that men don't look at you that way. It's just like, oh, you guys are creeps. It's like you're doing this, and then like it's the same thing with Angel Reese. Like you've seen them little ass short Angel Reese, like she'll dress sexy, and then get mad that people are looking at her as sexy. Or a lot of people say that. It's just like, and it's the whole, just because I'm dressed this way doesn't mean I'm not a whore. And the whole Dave Chappelle show, you're not a whore, but you're wearing a whore's uniform. Some of you women know. Some of you women know. It's just like that. The creeps are not who you're looking for. It's the people that you are into. It's you feel like for them. Like y'all know, I've seen, and like it's to me, it's worse in this generation because like there's some of you women literally come out there in little short shorts with your ass cheeks out, thinking like, yo, niggas is gonna stare, right? Like that I do not agree with the whole, if something happens, that whole, the whole, they shouldn't be able to touch you. Let's just say that they shouldn't touch you and all that other stuff. But again, we live in a reality world. It's just like at some point you got to take accountability. You know what you're doing when you was coming out there like halfway naked. That niggas is going to look at you. I would understand if you was dressed like a fucking nun. I would understand if you dressed really conservative. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Last night at my job, girl dressed real conservative. She not even dressing sexy. But she stood up and she had an ass on her. And her frame was slim and she had an ass on it. And it wasn't even a BBL too. The drink was real. And I said, God damn. Now, as a man, it's just like, that's just in me. I tell people all the time, I tell women this all the time, that's in me. I would respect the hell out of you. But at the same time, I am a man. I am like that. And men think about sex every 8 seconds. I told even the women I respect, look, that's just how we're wired. And like, if anything, that's a good thing because that's just like I said. That's how we wired. Like I was the first 7 seconds. I'm saying all the respectable things. Like she got a good hair on the shoulders. She's charming. She's witty. She's smart. She knows how to handle her money. She gets her business done. She stands on business. She was very honest with you. She never lied on you. And then that 8 seconds, it's just like, nigga, I will fuck the shit out of her. Nigga, she got ass on her too. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just how men are wired. We cannot help that shit. It's just like, yo, because we are here to procreate. And yes, we look at you from a full aspect, from the respectable aspect, and then from the sexual aspect. I guess what they call the male gaze or some shit like that. Which I don't fucking. It's just. I mean, I don't. It's not that I don't believe in the male gaze, but I don't think a lot of things get blamed on the male gaze because the women has a gaze too. It's just like women knows. It's just like when they see other women and like a woman got a figure on there, and then the first thing they do is just like they um they look at their man. They look at their man because they know that woman is attractive. You know that woman was attractive. It's just like she look like she might take your man or some shit like that. And half 9 times out of 10, the girl don't want to take that man. She just trying to do her job and shit. But the man's not reacting either. But it's just like sometimes the women know. It's like, oh yeah, she a little bad giant. But I don't think men should be called creeps for that. Like Shaq not being a creep, you know what you was doing when you came out them little bitty ass shorts and your ass cheeks is out. I'm pretty sure you looked in the mirror, and if you look at some of Angel Reese's like photos, yeah, she does some modeling to the side. She knows she got a body, like she knows she got a body. So yeah, she flaunts that. It's the same thing. It's the same thing sex workers do all the time. It's just like you present your way in a way that niggas is going to disrespect the fuck out of you, but you disrespect the fuck out of yourself, and then you get mad when niggas disrespect the fuck out of you. You can't like, what we doing here? I, I, I for one, I cannot stand. I cannot stand that. That shit gets on my nerves the most because it's just like, you know what the fuck you doing. In my opinion, y'all know what the fuck y'all doing, and y'all just doing this to get attention, and then just to try to demean men, in which I feel like it's just human fucking nature. Like men are the only. I feel like as species, men, we get chastised for doing stuff naturally men do. It's like it's human fucking nature. Now I'm. Now yeah, and that's let's just end it here. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all think I'm right? Y'all think I'm wrong? It's just like are women wearing a horse uniform? Because like I said, it's like I understand you want to express yourself or some shit like that, but I tell people one thing: do you have to use like you like I feel like when y'all want to express yourself, all y'all want to do is just be sexual. And then get mad when niggas look at you sexual. That's just me. It's just like I want to express myself fully, and it's just like, so do you want to be sexual or not? Like these are the questions I'll be asking. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what y'all think. Till then, my name is Eskino Fly. Out. Peace.